BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BodyBags. It's week 204, and I'm your Sunday host, Bourgie86 here again. Yes, guys, it's that time for the Sunday review, and I got one that's really batshit for you guys today. This film has a very interesting history when I was doing research on it. Pretty much this film was filmed in 1995, but then it wasn't edited till 2005, but then it wasn't completed till 2009 when it's edited. And then it didn't get like its official release until 2012 with its first run of DVD-Rs, and then it had like a small like theatrical / DVD release in Japan in 2014. But this is its first international release, of course. This is a UK DVD release of this film. And that film, of course, is titled Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, aka the Japanese Evil Dead. Pretty much what this film details is we're introduced to our main character of Nato, who's a bodybuilder, and pretty much we find out that he has this ex-girlfriend that he still has feelings for, sort of, as we see when they're introduced to each other. And pretty much she wants him to help her with her paranormal research. She's doing paranormal photojournalism. So they end up having this connection with Nato's father, who actually owns this abandoned house that is rumored to be haunted. So they end up going there to do research on it. They bring this psychic along with them. And pretty much once they get there, shit starts to hit the fan, and we find out like this dark presence has taken over this house that has like a death grudge against things that happened previous, like 30 years before, as we find out in the opening scene. And pretty much it's up to them to try to survive this, and it turns into like Evil Dead in a way. Like that's pretty much the main plot of this one, without going too crazy into it. It ends up becoming like this crazy like Japanese version of Evil Dead, pretty much, with like what's going on with like its characters within it. Now, my thoughts on this one going into it. Very interesting that this film's only 60 minutes long. It's a little over 60 minutes, like 62 minutes. So it goes right into it because there's not a lot of like downtime in this. So it gets right into the nitty gritty of what's going on, and it's very fast paced. And it kind of makes sense too with the size of the characters that this one portrays, because there's only like 3 like major characters in this film. Nato's actually, the actor who plays Nato actually plays his father in the beginning of the film during like a flashback scene. So they use like their crew wisely. Now there's some like crazy batshit moments in this film, of course, because it's Japanese. So when I see the quote on the back that says Hausa meets the Evil Dead, of course Hausa, the house, the 1977 batshit crazy Asian film that one is. It makes sense because there is a lot of like similarities with Hausa with this film, like especially with like just the weirdness and the unique style of filmmaking. Now, since this film was made in the 90s, it has like this very gritty look to it, especially with the way it was shot. It kind of reminds me of like the work of Jörg Bogareit in a way, like a certain like cinematography that he uses in his films, especially when I just watched Scram recently, and it kind of reminded me of his style, like filming and like the way that the film looked and stuff. I'm not saying that it's pretty much like a Jörg Bogareit film, but it has like that like feel to it because of the way it was shot and what it was shot on during the time period that it was filmed in 1995. So that kind of makes sense because most of like the heyday of Scram, like I said before, was in the early 90s. So that makes sense right away. Like it would have like that feel and look to it too. And it's very grainy and muddy, like the print that they use, especially with like the way that it looks. But it's still watchable, especially in like the inside the house stuff is very watchable. I'm not saying that the whole film looks muddy all the way. Like during like the daytime shots, it kind of looks like kind of muddy, but just the way that they use the camera and how old the camera stock was while they were edited it and stuff like that. So that was very interesting, and the effects are fucking awesome. There's like one scene in particular that's actually on the back cover that involves like an eyeball, which all I'm gonna give away, and just some really cool effects that really reminiscence of like the Evil Dead films, of course, and even like they even fucking the endings is fucking awesome because our main hero, of course, becomes like an Ash type character, and like he uses some kind of like some of Ash's fucking lines in the film, so it's kind of funny, especially like "come get some," like literally like just taking lines from Evil Dead. But this film's fucking batshit awesome. I had a fucking blast with this. If you're a fan of Asian cinema and you like your batshit Asian cinema, which I know isn't for everyone because of the cartooniness of it, but if you like Evil Dead and you want to see like kind of like a variation on it a little bit with some weird like batshitness, this is a film that I highly recommend. If I had to rate it, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's not really a perfect film because of like the structure and the way that some of the fast pacedness kind of takes away from it, but it's still a fun ass time, especially with the effects and just the comedic tones of it work to its benefit. So 8 out of 10 for Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. Fucking awesome shit. Highly enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. Alright guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and next week is our theme week on BodyBags. I hope you have fun with that one. It's a fun week and very interesting choice for a week, especially with like certain films that are involved in like this type of area of filmmaking, and even homages of this style of filmmaking also. That gives you a little hint of like the mixture of like films that are involved in this, and a lot of cool like films that we're going to be doing that week. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week, guys. Peace out.